Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Karen Cozier Phillips. C News is live at noon. Topping the news at this time, 2 men were shot dead in Kelly Village. According to reports, at around 9:30 p.m., 20-year-old Dylan Samuel was at Herrera Trace eating KFC in the company of his friend, 31-year-old Ian Yankee Jordan, when a white Nissan Tida pulled up alongside them. The occupants of the Tida opened fire upon the men. Samuel and Jordan were hit and both died at the scene of the shooting. Relatives of Samuel told reporters that they believed that the gunmen were after Jordan and he was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. Samuel, an employee of Car Search from Ravindranath Trace, would have turned 21 on the 20th of this month. Earlier on Thursday, Trinidad Cement Limited employee Al Pascal was shot dead at his home. 31-year-old Pascal had just dropped a work colleague home and had made his way to his Whiteland home when he was confronted by 2 men. These murders took the murder toll for the year to 291. Former chairman of Petrotrin, Malcolm Jones, has died. Jones reportedly passed away at the Augustus Long Hospital in Pointe-a-Pierre this morning. He had been ailing for some time. Mr. Jones served as chairman of the board of directors and chief executive officer at state-owned Petrotrin in 2002. He tendered his resignation in 2010 following claims of misconduct. Last year, Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi dropped a case against Jones for breach of fiduciary duty, which had been brought under the People's Partnership government. The matter, a US $109 million lawsuit against Jones, was connected to the failed billion-dollar World Gas to Liquid Plant WGTL project. The government of Trinidad and Tobago does not plan to object in any way to the Joint Trade Union Movement's march carded for later today. This was the view of Minister of Community Development, Culture and the Arts, Dr. Nian Gadsby-Dolly, when asked about the planned march.
Well, the beauty of Trinidad and Tobago is that we are a democratic society, and everyone has the right to express themselves, and once they are within the legal framework. And the government of Trinidad and Tobago is in no way desirous of changing that, and we allow people to do as they believe they should.
To other news now, police are on the search for 2 men who robbed a Chinese restaurant in Aruca. Shortly before 8 p.m. on Thursday, the 2 young men entered the Cam Wong Chinese restaurant, formerly known as Silver Dollar Bar on the Eastern Main Road, and announced a holdup. They robbed patrons and the establishment before making their escape. The robbery was caught on camera. However, police are continuing probe into the incident. Escaped prisoner Ishmeed Mohammed, who escaped from custody on Thursday morning on his way to court, has been recaptured. This was confirmed by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service in a release on Thursday evening. 32-year-old Mohammed, a.k.a. Randy Geshmeed of Tilak Singh Street, California, was held at his home around 7 p.m. by officers following a manhunt. He had escaped from custody while en route to the Couva Magistrates Court. Mohammed has several convictions and matters pending before the courts connected to drug-related and robbery offenses. This is the C News Live Report at noon. Remember, you can keep up to date with all the latest news on our website at ctvtt.com, or you can check out our Facebook and Twitter pages at C News Live. Soca artist Destra Garcia returned home on Thursday night after her mishap in Bermuda. The soca artist arrived at the Piarco International Airport at around 11 p.m. The Queen of Bacchanal reportedly broke her ankle after falling through a stage while performing at the Cup Match Summer Splash event in Bermuda on Wednesday night. She was pictured being wheeled through LF Wade International Airport in Bermuda. It was said she would require surgery on her ankle as a result of the injury. The Bermuda event was expected to be part of the QOB World Tour, where the soca artist expected to do 3 events at Toronto's Caribana this weekend. C News attempted to get a comment from Destra's management, but up to the time of this newscast, there was no response. UNC councillors led by Chairman Glenn Ramadar Singh walked out of a public health meeting held by the Superior Regional Corporation on Thursday. Dr. Ramadar Singh explained the reason behind the walkout was the continued presence of the corporate secretary, Natasha Cummins. The UNC councillors had filed a motion of no confidence in her last month.
Took a position after the PNM walked off without voting at the debate, causing the motion of no confidence in the corporate secretary to be undetermined, that until that vote is taken, that we would have difficulty sitting in any meeting to be advised by the very same corporate secretary.
The SRC chairman said they were awaiting a decision from the Ministry of Local Government concerning the corporate secretary and would not convene a meeting unless a pronouncement is made.
When we recognized that no action was taken by the ministry and that the CEO had not advised otherwise, we did not want to operate in a business as usual manner, and so we took a decision to opt out of the meeting today until the ministry assesses the situation and makes a determination. The meeting was shut down this morning at the Public Health Committee. It was shut down because we see this as an important matter that needs to be dealt with.
And now for the weather. Trinidad and Tobago will see sunny conditions interrupted by showers which can get heavy in varying localities this afternoon. Patchy cloudiness is expected tonight with showers occurring in a few areas. Seas are expected to be normal with waves up to 1.5 meters and up to 2 meters in open water and near calm in sheltered areas. Acting Commissioner of Police Stephen Williams is set to be recognized for his significant contribution to the advancement of women in policing. In a press release yesterday, the TTPS said Commissioner Williams will receive the first ever male award in support of He for She 2017 for giving female police officers opportunities to shatter the glass ceiling and perform duties in frontline positions of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, TTPS. This will take place at the International Association of Women Police, IAWP, 55th Annual Training Conference being held from the 17th to the 21st of September in Australia. The release added in 2014, Commissioner Williams recommended that then Acting Deputy Commissioner of Police Anne-Marie Arlene Daly act as Commissioner of Police in his absence, making her the first woman to perform the role. Mrs. Arlene Daly would go on to act on multiple other occasions. Member of Parliament for Couva North, Ramona Ramdial, says she is disappointed that after 5 months, the Tobago House of Assembly, THA, has not paid its bills for the Tobago Jazz Festival. In a statement, she said, it is an insult that all the foreign artists were paid, but local artists are still getting the runaround for payments. The opposition MP said in 2016 the THA would have invested $12 million on the event. She said a Parliament Joint Select Committee on the THA advised against investing in this event as it brought no returns for the Tobago economy. She called on the Minister of Tourism, Shamfa Kujo, Secretary for Tourism, Nadine Stewart, and THA Chief Secretary, Kelvin Charles, to expedite the process to ensure payments to all local artists and service providers are made. Meanwhile, the Minister of Finance says the government's purchase of land in Tobago from CL Financial was at a fair price, valuated by 3 reputable firms, J.A. Farrell, Duff & Phelps, and Terra Caribbean Limited. Government paid $174 million for the parcel of land, which is the proposed location of the Sandals Resort. Minister Imbert said several factors were taken into account in the valuation of the land.
Half of the land is swampland that cannot be used. Another quarter is nature reserve that you can't touch. This is not land you can build on. So when valuators are valuing land, and then 16 acres is sewer land. So when you are valuing a piece of land as a professional valuator, you look at the usable portion of the land. And it is in the same way that Terra Caribbean valued 147 acres next door for $75 million. It's all consistent. When you
Several spokespersons for CL Financial, however, have said government bought the land at a cheap price, as it was valued at over $800 million. Minister Imbert questioned their qualifications as land valuators.
Who is Mr. Rees and Mr. Purmel? What qualifications do they have to argue with Mr. J. Farrell and Duffin Phelps and Terra Caribbean. That is just a smoke screen to divert from the real issue, which is the movement of money out of CL World Brands, because you realize they're not saying a word about that. They're talking about the Sualan and Golan Grove and Salmon Grove.
TSTT has successfully completed the acquisition of 100% shareholding of Massey Communications Limited on July 31, 2017. After final negotiations, both parties agreed to a purchase price of $215 million. Sandra Maraj reports.
Massey Communications Limited was a subsidiary of Massey Holdings, a publicly traded company, and is organized into retail and enterprise business segments. The retail business includes 900 kilometers of fiber optic infrastructure already deployed, 34,000 homes passed ready for sales, 6,000 fiber to the home customers, and other assets including inventory and subsea capacity valued in excess of $75 million. TSTT says it had intended and secured financing to build a fiber plant in areas where Massey had already deployed a robust network. Thus, TSTT now has the benefit of consolidating both networks and infrastructures, and this will result in significant foreign exchange savings to TSTT and Trinidad and Tobago. Meanwhile, TSTT has declared a $49 million after-tax profit for the financial year ending March 31st, 2017, a $349 million turnaround in its performance in 2016. The telecommunications company made a total profit of $143.2 million. The figure, however, does not include TSTT's $215 million acquisition of Massey Communications Limited. Sandra Maraj, C News.
A landslide at Arapita Road, Upper St. Anne's, caused some destruction on Thursday following heavy rainfall. It caused a tree to fall onto the roadway and pull down electrical lines. MP for Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, and Acting Attorney General Stuart Young said when he heard of the incident, he immediately arrived on the scene.
In Upper St. Anne's along Arapita Road, I immediately made my way to the site and was able to see that there were fallen TNTEC lines, fallen TNTEC poles, as well as a massive tree had fallen across the road and blocked the road. TNTEC crew was already on site, and one worker from the Sarwell-Avontil Regional Corporation. I immediately reached out to the chairman of the Sarwell-Avontil Regional Corporation, as well as the head of the ODPM.
Minister Young said due to the landslip and fallen trees, some residents would have been displaced, but the relevant authorities such as the ODPM and the regional corporations were on site to assist residents.
For a temporary time, because there's one road in and one road out. So the main priority was to be able to clear the road, the tree from the road, and clear the road, get the poles out of the road, and to restore electricity. So I left the crews there while they were working, having ascertained that resources had been provided to the site.
It's now time for sport. Well, it was another bad night for Pro League club in the CONCACAF Champions League yesterday. This time, Central FC could not make the most of home advantage, failing to Uribe Unido from Panama at the Hasty Crawford Stadium. It was actually Central FC who got the first goal through a Johan Peltier header, but the Sharks would lose their grip, conceding soon thereafter, weak defending allowing Carlos Small to score. The Panamanians were the more assured team and won a penalty, which was saved by Stefan Sipasad, but they would eventually find the winner through Enrico Small. Well, it's just over 24 hours now before the first match of the CPL 2017 bowls off in St. Lucia between the Trinidad and Tobago Knight Riders and the St. Lucia Stars, with final week set for right here in TNT. CPL CEO Damian O'Donoghue said he'll be making an announcement soon about a big-named music act who will be performing at the final on September 9th. He is also more than pleased that the final is back in Trinidad and Tobago, whose fans, he says, are the best at any sporting event he's ever attended.
You know, I've never been shy about my feelings on this. I think the only place the CPL finals should ever be is in Trinidad. You know, the fans there are the most passionate of all, and you know, 2 years ago when the finals were played and Trinidad went on to win, I've never experienced an atmosphere like that at a sporting event in my life. Anytime I go to Trinidad, all anybody wants to talk about is, are the finals coming here, are the finals coming here? So people just love it, and you know, we're delighted to be back, and you know, I'm very grateful to Daryl Smith and Brian Lara for working with us to make this happen. Obviously, it's the final games are going to be played in the Brian Lara Stadium.
And that's it for sport. Well, it's less than an hour before the joint trade union movement is expected to begin their march through Port of Spain. CNews' Ian Wason is currently in downtown Port of Spain, and he can give us an idea on the gathering so far. Good afternoon, Ian. Tell us, what is the atmosphere in Port of Spain currently like?
Well, good afternoon, Karen. And of course, it's not a Labor Day crowd because, remember, today is a normal working day, so you cannot expect a large Labor Day crowd. Having said that, the crowd is getting a bit larger. It's just growing. We still have about a half hour again for the scheduled start. But which part of the stage is? It's in the part of the promenade between where the banks are, where the commercial banks are. And that's where a lot of OWC members are situated and still coming. There are some pockets of other unions, the PSC, I see some WASA workers who, of course, they are PSC members. So the crowd is building, but remember, the crowd will not be as large as a G19 crowd.
Okay, thank you very much, Ian Wason, there at the Brian Lara Promenade, of course, ahead of the trade union movement's Port of Spain Labor Day March. And that's how we end our CNews report at noon. I'm Karen Kozier-Phillip. Remember, for up-to-date and breaking news throughout the day, you can visit the CNews website at ctvtt.com. Do have a good afternoon.